Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome. I'm so excited. So, it's been a while since I've done any trainings like this on my homepage, like any proper in-depth trainings. Yes, I'm really, really excited. I've got a few lined up for you this month leading up to my challenge and launch. So, I've got lots of really valuable stuff for you. Sorry, my phone is every time I go live, my phone notifications start going crazy. So yes, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is basically how to get in front of your target audience. And there's loads of reasons why that's so important, which I'll go into as well before I give you a really simple, easy exercise to go away and do this. Because the thing is, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. And before we get into all of that, I just want to really briefly introduce myself because I am running ads and things at the moment because I'm launching the end of Feb. So I've got a lot of new followers that I want to say hi to. So my name is Beth Davis, and I'm a multiple business owner and a business coach. And I specialize in helping women to really sort of get more freedom and flexibility in their lives, whilst also still scaling the business, getting more money, more freedom. And the way we do that is by focusing on multiple recurring, smart, passive, whatever word you want to use, income streams. And it's really important that, one, you focus on these smart income streams because that's what's going to give you the freedom. And two, that you focus on multiple because that's your safety nets for your business. So that's my area of expertise, and that's what I'm passionate about helping women with. So that's me in a nutshell. So if you're watching, let me change so I can see the comments box as well. Hi Michelle, hi Jess, hello. Yeah, I'm glad I can see the comments. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. And before I jump into this exercise, which like I said, it's going to be quick and easy. I'm all about easy, quick, simple results. It's really, really important, especially as women who are really passionate about, family and spending our time with our family. Time is precious, isn't it? It's our most valued thing. So I do keep these lives as short as possible, and I like to keep business as simple and easy as possible as well. Shell, and you do it so beautifully. Before I met you, I only had one smart income stream, and now I've got 7. I love that. Yeah, you're totally smashing it now with the recurring income streams, I know. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so basically, the reason why I wanted to talk to you today about getting in front of your target audience is because it's just such an important aspect of business, and I think it's an aspect that a lot of people overlook or don't take very seriously. But here's the reasons why you really do want to take your ideal client target audience very seriously. If you try and target everyone, you're going to not get very good results, because when you target everyone, what happens is your conversion rates, your sales rates will be lower. So if you can get a really good direct message that you're kind of directing towards a very niche audience, then what happens when you nail that is your conversions will increase, which will lead to more sales. So in a nutshell, that's just one of the reasons. There's millions of reasons why you should be doing this and why it's so important, but that's one of the most important reasons, is because of your sales conversions. If you target one specific really niche audience, everything's going to be very clear, very defined, and your sales conversions will really increase. And secondly, another really important reason why is because of business sustainability. Now, when you are working with the kind of people that absolutely love you up, love you up, love you up. Here I go again with the word fluff ups. The kind of people who love you up, light you up. When you're working with the kind of people who light you up, it makes business feel easy. It makes it all feel really, really easy. We love you, Beth. I said something in the academy group as well earlier as well. I said something and it came out wrong. That was the autotype. But when I'm on lives, I can't blame it on the autocorrect thing on typing, because it's actually me. Yeah, so like when it comes to like having a sustainable business that's going to be for the long run, like you want to love that business. You want that business and the work that you're doing to really light you up. And if you are attracting and working with the kind of people who just don't light you up, everything becomes really hard. And then that's not going to be sustainable in the long run, because if you're not, if you're working with people who just really make things feel difficult and feel, hard, you're not gonna want to be doing that for like a long time. You're gonna end up losing your motivation and your love for it. So it's really, really important that you are very like passionate and happy with like the kind of people that you're working with. It makes a huge difference, like a huge difference. So yeah, it's like not just to increase your money in your business, but to increase like the long-term sustainability of it, and just to make life easy. Because as you know, like I've already said, I'm all about making life and business easy, especially business, because the life is the priority, isn't it? Like business is what, sort of, what's the word? Can't think of the word. Your business is what like provides your lifestyle, isn't it? So, you want the business to be as easy as possible, because you don't want to be like stressed and working ridiculous hours and, all the hard work. You want to find ways of making it as easy as possible. And if you're working with the kind of people who are easy to work with, then, that's just like one part of the many reasons to do this and to really nail who it is you're targeting. So we're going to talk about how to like really define your lives. Kill me, I love them. Love you too. We're going to talk about who it is that you're going to target, and also I'm going to talk to you about how to get in front of them, because there's different ways. Like I said, there's only 3 real steps to this exercise that I'm going to give you, because it really is that simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. A lot of people like really overcomplicate things in business, and it's overwhelming, and it kind of just makes you procrastinate as well. So like people do that to themselves. It's like one of the mindset wobbles people do when people have. So like, just don't do it. Make it simple. It really doesn't need to be complicated. So I'm going to dive straight into the exercise. So what I want you to do first of all, like I said, this is 3 simple parts. So the first part is like focusing on who it is that you want to target. And again, like already touched on, it's about really thinking about who you want to work with, who lights you up. And, depending on where you are in business, like if you're already in an established business and working with clients, or, providing a service or products, whatever it is that you're doing, think about like, how do you feel working with those clients? Have you had any clients who you've worked with? And if you're new in business, I'm going to come to that as well. If you're working with clients, like, have a good think about them. Which were the clients who really, really just lit you up, like made you absolutely love your work, love what you were doing, felt easy, felt good? And think about as well, if you had the clients that felt a bit more difficult, felt a bit more and was a bit more hard work, so you didn't love it as much, think about that. And then think about like, what was it about these people? Like, think about their personalities, their interests. Try and get to the source of what it is that made you really, really connect with them, and what made it so easy. So like, think, did you get on because you had something in common? Maybe it's something completely unrelated to business, but there was like a really common thing or common theme, or, whatever it is, like an understanding or like a relatability that meant that you really sort of got on like a house on fire. And that's the thing maybe that made you absolutely love working with this person. There could be a niche right there. Maybe it's not so much a relatability thing. It's like a place where they're at. So what I mean is, if you're a service-based person and you're like coaching someone or helping someone or whatever it is, like there's loads of different kinds of people you could be helping. So like, think about the categories and the different areas. Think about the people. It could be like, what level are they at? So is there a certain type of person or at a certain level that is easier for you to work with? These are the things you could think of when figuring out who it is that you're going to target. So keep it easy. Think about the people who's easiest to work with, the people who light you up and you really get like that fulfillment and joy out of working with. And that's how you can start like discovering what your niche is going to be, like the niche audience. So going into the second step then is thinking about your content, because when it comes to like selling, especially in the online space, it's really important that you've got your content and your messaging right. Like sales comes back, like basic sales concept is the same regardless to how you sell. You need to know who it is you're selling to, what it is they want, and how to really put that across to them. So you need to like, give them exactly what it is they want. Make it a no-brainer, and you can do this like in person. Some people are really, really good at doing that in person. When it comes to like the online space, it's about being able to put that into your content and into your messages. So it's really important that you can, crack that. So what you want to think of for content is what I like to say, like have a trigger list. Now, some people will call it other things, like I've heard of people calling it like content pillars and different kind of like content categories. So you want to think, when you're thinking about that person who really lights you up, who you enjoy working with, think about content triggers. So like the kind of things, you don't want to have too many. I would say like have up to 7, like a good variety, and then loads of different things can come into those 7, or like up to 7, like 3 to 7 content pillars or triggers. And you want to think like, what is it that your ideal client really, really like struggles with? Like it could be a pain point, or maybe it's like a transformation they want, or what is it that they really, really want? Like what is it that they really, really pained with or struggled with? And sometimes pained or struggled isn't the right word for your ideal client. So like you need to figure out the root of it. Is it a pain? Is it like a struggle? Is it like a deep burning desire for something? Figure out what that thing is, and that's going to be like one of your strong pillars, one of your strong triggers that you need to like cycle into all of your content, regular content. And then the other pillars are going to be made up of credibility. So when it comes to selling, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Like everyone's heard that, haven't they? And it's also true. So like another, really good one to put into your content pillars and triggers, whatever you want to call them, is basically like credibility. So like, this can come in the form of testimonials, like PR and anything like that is, other people recommending you, referrals. This kind of stuff is really, really strong when it comes to selling. So you want to be like covered in that area for the credibility, for people to know that you know your stuff and that you can get results. And then like another area then is like relatability. So you not only you want them to like you, not only want them to trust you, you want them to like you. So this is where a lot of people get stuck on this part, and this is where you want to really think about like the relatability part. Like what is it about you and your ideal client that you've got in common? And a lot of people as well will hold back on certain things because they're afraid of upsetting people or scaring people off. And let me tell you right now, like if you upset people or scare them away from your platforms, that's a job well done. Because what you want to do and what's going to make life easier for you and it's going to save you time is for those people to take themselves away rather than you end up having calls with them and wasting your time, and then you realizing, oh, this isn't the kind of person I want to work with, or them realizing that, nah, and then you've just wasted each other's time. So it's really, really good to be really like specific with your content. And if there is anything that you could think of that is like a strong viewpoint or a strong like value or something like that you share with your ideal client and target audience, use that as one of your strong pillars, So like, for example, sorry, my nose is like keeps itching, I'm like this all the time. So one of my pillars is family values, and like anyone who knows me knows that about me because it's so strong. It like literally like pours out of me everywhere. Family values is like everything for me. It's the whole reason I got into business in the first place. It's the whole reason I've built like multiple recurring income streams. It's the whole reason why I was so like hell bent on making more money so I could give them like an amazing lifestyle, but also get the freedom as well to spend my time with them, not like working all the hours for what, not to spend time with them. So like all this, everything that I've built was built from passion for my own life, for my own children, for my own family. And that is like eventually, after all the other income streams and the other businesses, led into coaching as well. And that's like the other thing that really, really lights me up and is a sustainable business for me, which is the only thing the only income stream that I put my time into is my coaching business. And that's because I love helping other family women who are the exact same thing as me. Like literally, it lights me up spending time with them and speaking to them and helping them and supporting them and helping them find their way as well. Like there's nothing more like fulfilling than that for me. I love it. And that's what it's about. Like when I post all the time about like my family and my kids and, you know, all mum stuff, I use the word mumpreneur as well. This triggers a lot of people. It does. And it repels a lot of people who don't like the word. There's so many people who don't like the word mumpreneur. And that's okay, because then, like, you know, the kind of person I would end up working with and I would absolutely love working with wouldn't get hung up on the details of like a word, just a simple word, mumpreneur. They would also be so passionate about family, not necessarily meaning they've got kids of their own. Perhaps they're step parents, perhaps they're not parents, perhaps they want children, perhaps they can't have children. There's all different kinds of people that I work with. But one thing that is clear is my values are crystal clear. Family first, always. Everything is to build a lifestyle for your family. And I work with the kind of women who feel exactly the same. So, you know, and it does that job. That's what it does. It brings my target audience to me so that I'm not wasting my time speaking with anyone who is not exactly who it is that I want to work with and who I know I can really, really serve as well in the best way. Because the thing is, like, if you end up working with someone who doesn't absolutely get on with you like a house on fire, there can be resistance. And you're not able to serve them in the best way that you can, you know, that you could serve someone else. So it's really, really important for your sake and for theirs, because they could work with someone else who could really serve them better, who is more like aligned with them. So it's really, really important that you do this work. So yeah, like the first step is all about who, like figure out who. The second step is having your content pillars. Now, thinking about, you know, the main key areas to think about is building that know, like, and trust, credibility, knowing as well what it is that like their thing is that they need or they want or they're paying by, and also relatability. So like those are the main areas, and then you can bulk things up with other things then, like, you know, put things out in your messaging to like deter people that you don't want to work with, or, you know, really, really appeal to people that you really want to work with. So that kind of stuff. This is really important, the content part, because that's the thing that people, you know, is no point in putting yourself in front of your target audience if you can't then convert them. So that's why the content is so important. And then this leads us on to the third part then, which is basically getting in front of them. So there's loads and loads and loads of different ways you can get in front of your target audience. And just to name a few, there's like paid methods and organic methods. Paid methods are like, you know, paid adverts, Facebook ads, Google ads. You can pay agencies to do lead gen for you and things like that. There's like loads of different ways to get like automated leads so that you're not actually doing the work. And then there's ways to do it as well yourself. And there's like organic ways as well, such as like you can, you know, really focus on using reels and your hashtags and all that kind of stuff. So like it's really, really important that you look at the different areas as well to be able to bring them in. But the important part is like knowing what it is that you want. So for myself, it was a no-brainer for me to put myself in front of my target audience with paid methods because it's the most automated way. When I use paid ads and things like that, it's all done. It's bringing my leads in. Like many of you guys in my audience found me through paid adverts. Like you would have seen like a freebie challenge or a freebie opt-in or something, and then you would have come into my audience that way. And then there's the content that converts you, you know, or puts you off. Either way, like that's the two things you want your content to do, either like put off the people who annoy your ideal client or, you know, convert the ones who are. Something on your Kayla says, best way to get your ex-lover back fast, even if your situation is hopeless. I don't know what that's got anything to do with what we're talking about, Kayla. So anyway, but I'll come back to that later. Yeah, so that's completely just thrown me there. It's just like, get your ex-lover back fast, even if your situation. I'm not sure if you're pitching or if you're asking me for advice, because I'm not like reading the whole thing. I will read it later, but either way, okay. Yeah, so those are the three parts of the exercise is who lights you up, like really think about who you're working with and think about the reasons why you would enjoy working with them. The content is really, really important that you focus on those pillars. Remember, know, like, and trust. And then like when it comes to getting in front of them, you can either use, like, really think about this as well, like how much effort you want to put into it, and like think about like where you're at in your business as well. It might be that you're at a stage at the moment where, you know, you're going to have to do as much as you can organically yourself until you can get to the stage where you can then do things like more automated. And then like, you know, is thinking about the things you're offering then as well. So if you're like in your early stages where you're not quite there yet, you don't want to pay for automated paid lead generation and get yourself in front of the target audience, then it would be a really good idea to have some kind of higher ticket offer, because then that's going to really, really help you, because you put in a lot more time into whatever it is that you're going to be offering. And especially when you bring in the lead in yourself, it's taking up a lot more time. So you want to be making sure that the ones you are selling to are a higher ticket, so that it's covering the costs, and then you can make money quicker to outsource the lead gen. And then once you've got more automation in your business and the leads coming through easier and automated, then you can kind of start focusing on the smaller, like the lower ticket stuff as well, and serving people in lower cost ways. It just makes things like a lot easier. So it all depends on your circumstances, your budget, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're doing things like, if you're going to use paid methods, any advice on lead gen VAs, please? So there's loads of different like lead gen VAs that you can use. There's loads of like agencies, there's loads of VAs that do it like, what's called soul, what's the word, like they work on their own, freelance. Can't think of the word then. So there's like agencies you can use for lead gen, there's like freelance like people that you can use. I'll drop you some like contact and some things that I've got afterwards, Jess. But yeah, there's like loads of things you can use. Like I've just recently decided with my lead gen, because I've got a VA who manages some of my lead gen via like DMing and things like that. And I've just recently decided, it works brilliantly, but I recently decided to pull that method from Facebook. We're going to continue it with Instagram and LinkedIn, but I personally decided not to do it on Facebook anymore, because it doesn't feel like right to me. Like I said, it works, but it does upset some people. Obviously, when you've got people jumping into your DMs, like, you know, some people really don't like that. So it's about what you feel comfortable with doing. Like it does work at the same time. So it's like, you know, if you can kind of get past the odd sort of negative feedback you might get from doing it, then continue doing it, you know, because it does really, really work. And it's a cheaper version than like paid ads and things like that. So you've got to think of these things as well. Think what feels right for you and all of that stuff. But yeah, so you can either do things that way. Like another way as well, if you're not in a position to start using paid advertising yet for lead gen, is like thinking about like Reels, Instagram, like video content is really, really powerful for like getting more reach. And you have to know what's going on in your insights. So like for Instagram, for example, like make sure you've got a business account so that you can really check those insights of your content that you're putting out there to see what's working well and what's not working well. Do more of the stuff that's getting more reach and all of that. Like there's so much we could literally do an whole hour session here just on, there's so many different elements that we could go into. But this is just like covering the surface. Like I go into all of this in so much depth in the different areas, even with the different social media pages and what works best on them in the academy, but it's just too much to cover right now. But for lead gen through like VAs and stuff like that, I'll send you some of my contacts and stuff. But yeah, so those are like the main areas. So like choosing where to start out, think about like, you know, what kind of investment have you got to start, like how much money have you got to set aside? Like, do you want to be working towards putting money aside to make lead gen automated? And if not, then it's like basically getting in front of them in more organic methods and ways, like we've discussed. So that's like wrapping it up. If you've got any questions, just ask away. I'll always like come back and check out the comments on here. Anyone watching on a replay, just ask any questions and I'll always pop back in when I see it and answer. And before I shoot off, I just want to ask any of you as well, if you want to be part of my free challenge that's coming up. So I'm doing a free challenge where we dive in a lot deeper into this kind of stuff. I'll be promoting, I'm launching the academy like the first week of March. So it's like all to do with promoting that really. So I'll be giving you like a bit of a taster and a trial and a freebie kind of experience of what it's like to work within the academy. So we deep dive into certain areas within the challenge. So if you want to like go into a bit more depth, we focus on like making sure you're focused on your passions. We cover more when it comes to multiple recurring income streams. We look at like money management and all that kind of stuff in the challenge. It's a 4-day challenge. So if you want to have the heads up when that is available for you to sign up to, let me know. Just pop like a yes in the comments and we can make sure you get the link to sign up to the free challenge. And I've got another training as well coming up on Thursday. There's a few more trainings like all in the lead up to this big launch. There'll be lots of free training and content coming out, so just keep your eyes out for it, because this is when you get like the most kind of golden nuggety bits is, you know, when people promote and give you tasters and all kinds of stuff leading up to their launches and, you know, launching their programs. You're very, very welcome, Jess. Giggly, lovely lady. I love it. Anyway, gonna love you all and leave you and say goodnight. I kept it to 30 minutes, so yay! And have a good evening, and I will see you. I'll do some posts, but I'll be back on Thursday with some more training. I will catch you later. Bye.